Stay with us and find out. And welcome to SEC TV basketball as the Kentucky Wildcats hit the road and take on the Auburn Tigers from beautiful Auburn Arena on the loveliest village on the plains. Well, as you take a look at the standings in the Southeastern Conference, nobody's been better than Florida. Trying to go unscathed in SEC play. They've won 16 straight overall, but there's Kentucky with a 2-game advantage over Ole Miss. They are in the number 2 spot in the SEC standings. And a pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm Dave Neal alongside former head coach Joe Dean Jr. Glad you could join us tonight. And, Joe, you know, this Auburn basketball team, it's been a tough road. They got off to a shaky start, but then they won 3-0 before losing to LSU in their last outing. This Kentucky team better be ready to go tonight. Well,
Auburn has won 3 of its last 4, and they have 2 of the top 3 scorers in the league in KT Harrell and Chris Denson. This is a dicey game for Kentucky. They're 2 games behind Florida in the SEC regular season race. With the Gators coming to Rupp Arena on Saturday, Kentucky needs to play well here tonight.
Well, let's take a look at our one-on-one, and for that, we'll take a look at a couple of guys who know how to put the ball in the basket.
We've got a lot of left-handers on the floor tonight, and 2 of the best left-handers in the SEC are Julius Randle, one of the top freshmen in the country. He's a walking double-double and a handful for any defense. Chris Denson is having an all-SEC season. He leads the SEC in scoring, improved shooter, and gets to the foul line as much as any player in the conference.
Well, KT Harrell hasn't been too bad either, averaging almost 20 points a game, 4th best in the conference. He'll need to put together another outstanding performance if Auburn wants to shock the Cats. Stay with us. Tonight's SEC game is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer for great deals today. Well, a Repa Club, one of the trees that used to reside at Toomer's Corner. As we come inside Auburn Arena, where the Kentucky Wildcats making an appearance on this, what has been a dreadful weather day around the southeast. It has touched Auburn a little bit. Expecting some snow, perhaps, when we get out of the building tonight. Let's hope not, as Kentucky bringing a good crowd on hand as you look at this young Wildcat lineup. 18-5 overall, 8-2 in league play. All freshmen again. Dakari Johnson making his 4th consecutive start in the post, along with the Harrison twins, Young and Randall. Meanwhile, for Auburn, they'll go with 3 seniors and just 1 freshman. That's their point guard, Taj Shamsuddin. But the 2 key elements here, Chris Denson and KT Harrell, they got to go for 40-plus points if Auburn wants to have a shot at this one tonight. Tony Green about to throw it up, and he does so, and Kentucky wins the opening tap, and they'll get it off to the point guard, Andrew Harrison.
Auburn has been playing a lot of zone defense of late. It's becoming their primary defense, and that's how they start.
Sean Dixon Tatum gets the initial block, then Johnson goes back up, and now has a 3-point opportunity.
2 7-footers going at each other. Dixon Tatum gets the first play, the nice rejection, but excellent job of Dakari Johnson staying with the play, not giving up, and using the banking board for the deuce.
Dakari Johnson, 48% at the line. That'll dip down a point or 2 after the miss, but 2-0 Kentucky. Wildcats have won 3 in a row in 6 of their last 7.
Kentucky's man-to-man. They have had problems guarding the basketball out on the floor.
Tapped around. Last touch by Dakari Johnson.
Chris Denson, number 3 for Auburn, and leads the league in scoring. He is constantly looking to take it to the left hand and get all the way to the rim. He goes to the foul line over 190 times this year.
There goes Denson baseline, looking for the pass, gets it to Payne. He's surrounded by 3 blue jerseys, but that doesn't stop him. Tied at 2.
Right over the top of Julius Randle. That was a nice play by Alan Payne, the senior, for Auburn.
Payne averaging 7 points a game out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Kentucky working working the perimeter. Now Harrison will kick it back to Young. Fires for three off the mark. Dakari Johnson already making a huge impact, and that is the exact concern for Tony Barbie.
Well, it's the weakness of his own defense. You don't have set block-out responsibilities. You block an area, and Dakari Johnson is 7 feet tall. He's 265 pounds, and he's hard to keep off the offensive backboard.
When we talked to Coach Barbie today, I said, what are your concerns today? And he says, I got one. We got to protect the backboard.
Yeah, that's the number one key for Auburn. They've got to rebound on the defensive board out of that zone, which is not easy to do against the big, physical, big blue.
Here's Randall right down the lane. Kicks it back to Young. Back to Randall inside the arc. Jump shot goes down. Julius Randall, who was averaging 16 points and almost 10 rebounds a game with his first basket. This Auburn team averaging 74 points a game. That's 6th in the conference.
Need to throw it inside. They don't want to take it into Dixon Tatum.
There's the freshman shot. Shadeen with a little floater in the lane, and it's a 2-point Kentucky lead.
Made baskets. Auburn is going to 2-2-1 zone trap just to slow Kentucky down and force them to get into the half court where they're facing that 2-3 zone defense.
Dixon Tatum with a rebound. Here's KT Harrell looking for his first shot. Dixon Tatum had it taken away by Dakari Johnson. 44 in blue, already a big factor here in the opening minutes. Young hangs off the window, no good. Last touched by Kentucky, and it belonged to Auburn. Boy, you look at this front court. This is the concern for Tony Barbie. Those are some big boys he's got to contend with.
Well, they're very large men, no doubt about it. Tall and got beef, and they are powerful. Hit the backboards with tenacity, and they can score and block shots. I mean, this is a very formidable team. Maybe the best 4 frontline players on any one team in America.
A lot of talk about Kentucky being the youngest team in Division I basketball, 351 teams in Division I, but sometimes overlooked is the fact that they're also the tallest team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Their guards are all 6'6", the Harrison twins and James Young.
Long arms of Willie Cauley-Stein, the 7-footer, just checked in. Keeps it alive. Harrison off the backboard. Won't go. Cauley-Stein, offensive rebound. That foul will go against Alex Thompson, the freshman out of Dothan, Alabama.
And Alex Thompson had to make a decision if he was going to leave to go after this block right here. When he did that, it opened up the offensive board for Willie Cauley-Stein, who was right there to get the carom and get himself to the free throw line.
Willie Cauley-Stein at the free throw line this year, just 47%. He is now 30 out of 62. Tuesday against Ole Miss in their last midweek game was sensational. 18 points, 11 boards, and 6 blocks. I talked to Andy Kennedy this week, and he said they didn't have an answer. Did not have an answer for him.
Yeah, he's a player, and I don't understand why he's such a poor free throw shooter. If you watch him in practice, he's got a nice stroke. There's nothing wrong with his technique. Talking about Cauley-Stein.
Reverse layup by Denson won't go. Tapped around again, kept alive. Here's a second chance for the Tigers. 4 minutes off the clock here, opening half. Dave Neal alongside Joe Dean Jr. 7-4 Kentucky. Shamsuddin fires, no good. Attaway had his hands on it for a moment. Here comes James Young. Poitras. Harrison to his brother. Let's see what Tony Green says on the baseline. He's going to say block against the Tigers. That'll take us to a timeout. Kentucky off to a 3-point lead. When we come back, we'll talk about the relationship between our two head coaches. John Calipari saying hello to a lot of good friends, including Tony Barbie. Not just a good friend, a coach, a mentor, as those two guys have been around each other for a long time, as Tony Barbie played for Coach Cal at UMass back in the early 90s. and went on to become a graduate assistant with him, and then they separated for a few years, and then Coach Cal brought him back on board, and he was an assistant with Coach Cal at Memphis before getting the head coaching job at Texas El Paso. And we need to say right now, congratulations, even though it was a couple of weeks ago, Tony Barbie inducted into the UMass Hall of Fame. He led UMass to 2 A-10 championships. When he left school, he was the 3rd all-time leading scorer for the Minutemen. Well, but right before we went to break, we had one of those either-way charge block fouls. Ends up being a block against the Auburn Tigers.
Well, it was definitely a charge, but the defensive player was standing in the restricted arc under the basket. And when that happens, it's an automatic charge.
And it gave
block, excuse me.
Gave Kentucky a chance to nail the three-pointer. James Young out of the corner, able to get it to go down. Here's Denson, too strong. It'll belong to Kentucky. Sometimes, Joe, I know Denson's having a great year, leading the league in scoring, but almost it looks like he tries to force the issue a little too much. Well,
especially in a game like tonight where he's really trying to show a lot of people that he can play. The pro scouts in the audience here tonight, and he wants to put his team on his back and pull a major upset against Kentucky here.
Andrew Harrison now off to Aaron inside the arc, jump shot no good. Dom Shadeen, quick hands, keeps it alive. Denson hangs. That won't go. There's Thompson for the tap-in follow.
How about Alex Thompson, a 6'8" walk-on freshman from Dothan, Alabama, who earned a scholarship from Tony Barbie about 3 weeks ago. Has made good contributions for the Tigers.
Aaron Harrison will back it out. 4-point Kentucky lead. Harrison, alley-oop, Poitras. Boy, that was a quick timeout by Tony Barbie.
Well, we've talked about Alex Thompson. Watch number 20 run the floor and get himself right in front of the rim for the tip-in over the Big Blue. Great hustle play by the freshman out of Dothan, Alabama, right there. Former walk-on, earned a scholarship from Tony Barbie a few weeks ago, just prior to their game against Missouri. Actually, against Tennessee, my mistake.
Well, this is the last alley-oop a minute ago by Kentucky.
Yeah, Thompson is moving up toward the wingman number 2, and that opens up the baseline for the lob pass to Alex Poitras. Those forwards have got to be as deep as the deepest offensive player, and the freshman right there with a freshman mistake.
So the Wildcats have doubled up the Tigers. This Auburn team started the year 0-6 in conference play. Then they rattled off 3 consecutive wins. Harrell's shot off the mark. Andrew Harrison in some traffic. See who picks up that foul for Auburn. They'll give it to Chris Denson. That'll be his first. Jared Paulson checks in for Kentucky in that last timeout. Thompson to the bench now for the Auburn Tigers. Jordan Granger, the 6'8" sophomore out of St. Louis, now on the floor. He wears 25 in white. Here's Randall back to Paulson. Around the perimeter they go. Willie Cauley-Stein back to Paulson. Boy, quick ball movement results in a 3-pointer at the top of the key for Andrew Harrison.
That's how you dissect the zone, right there. You take it side to side, you go inside of the zone and collapse the white shirts, and when the ball goes back outside, you got wide open people. Paulson actually turned down a shot to get it to Andrew Harrison, who knocked down the 3 for Kentucky. Great ball movement.
KT Harrell in the corner to Denson.
Andrew Harrison doing a nice job defensively on the SEC's leading scorer, Chris Denson.
Denson took it right to the 7-footer, Willie Cauley-Stein. Tony Barbie begging for some contact and a three-point opportunity. No whistle.
And he has an argument, Dave, because Willie Cauley-Stein definitely put his body on Chris Denson on that shot.
Dixon Tatum with a reach-in over Cauley-Stein.
Chris Denson likes to slash to the goal. He uses his body right here, gets the contact, uses the backboard to get it in. No call. That upset his coach, Tony Barbie.
Well, in SEC games, you can see why Coach Barbie might be a little upset. Auburn is minus 80 in free throw makes in conference play to their opponents.
And he was talking about that today because his team with Harrell and Denson are basically slashers. They are driving the ball constantly toward the goal and trying to get fouls as they get to the basket. And he's been a little disappointed with the number of fouls that his team's been called and the ones that he's not getting on the offensive end.
I mean, minus 80 in free throw makes is a huge number. Harrison left open, buries a three.
And a good skip pass across the zone by the freshman Dakari Johnson. Kentucky really moving the basketball well tonight against this zone to find open looks.
KT Harrell tied up in traffic. Auburn down 10. Shamsuddin for three, got it. Boy, a little flick of the wrist.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot better. Coming off a 16-point game at LSU on Saturday. Ty Shamsuddin out of Atlanta, one of 5 left-handed players on the floor here tonight.
He was just one of his last 9 over the last 2 games from behind the arc. Here's Paulson coming off a season-high 30 minutes in Kentucky's last game against Mississippi State. He and John Hood got quite a bit of action against the Bulldogs. .14 to go. Timeout on the floor. Kentucky leads it by 7. Well, Dakari Johnson down low, getting some work done for Kentucky.
Uses his size very well at 7 feet 265. Goes after the basketball with aggression. Uses the backboard nicely. A young man who's really getting better for Kentucky, and that's why he's earned the starting position for Coach Calipari. He started now 3 games in a row, and Dave, I like Dakari Johnson. He's got a lot of upside. The true old-fashioned low-post player for the Big Blue.
2 seconds of the shot clock off the inbounds. Air ball by Harrison. It'll be a shot clock violation, and Auburn will have possession. Yeah, we went to talk to Coach Calipari today. Simple question, why did you insert Dakari Johnson in the lineup? And he said, pretty simple. He was playing better and harder.
Exactly. Right. And along with that, I asked him, does that help a player like Willie Cauley-Stein maybe to come off the bench, let him relax a little bit, get a feel for the game before he comes in? And Coach Cal said, it's possible. In some players it does help. But both of those young men at 7 feet, very effective in blocking shots and rebounding. And they both play extremely hard.
Denson again going left. Foul called against Harrison. That'll send Denson to the free throw line. Well, the most storied conference in college athletics will live on a new network as tradition has found a new home. It's the SEC Network, launching August of 2014. For more information, go to getsecnetwork.com. Folks, that is just around the corner. Do not hesitate. Make your plans now. They'll be kicking off the pigskin before you know it.
Absolutely. It's going to be exciting. Chris Denson at the foul line, number 3, has been to the free throw line. This will be for the 198th time this season. That is an amazing stat. And no Auburn player has made more free throws at this stage of the season since 1978. That would be my man Stan Petkavich, who's probably watching tonight down in Orlando, Florida. Great player for the Tigers back in the late 70s under the great Dr. Bob Davis.
Denson has attempted 38% of the team's free throws. He's made 34% of the team's free throws. And 29% of his points on the year are from the free throw line. Julius Randle, another guy that gets to the line. 7 on the shot clock. Randle so far in this one, trying to get it cranked up. He's 1 of 4 from the field, 3 points. Here's Harrison, little floater off the back of the rim. Hadaway with a rebound.
I like Hadaway. He's getting a lot better. Young man's only played basketball for 3 years from Canada, but he's got a big body and learning how to play the game as a freshman.
Nice crossover, counted Chris Denson.
Yeah, inside, you see the trail cut right there. And watch him battling Randle inside. Good officiating crew here tonight. A couple of Final Four referees, Tony Green and Mark Whitehead, telling those guys to kind of cool it. And you see the numbers. And this is the poster child, Dave, for a guy that has stayed 4 years in a college program and improved his play every single year. You saw that graphic. His scoring average has gone up every year, and now, as a senior, he's made himself into an all-conference player and leads the league in scoring. Chris Denson.
Andrew Harrison to Aaron. Here's Randle. Under 10 minutes to go, first half. 2-point game.
Auburn man-to-man now, out of the zone.
Kentucky's led by as many as 10. Bad pass by Cauley Stein. Auburn will have it. Paulson and Poitras back on the floor now for Kentucky. Harrison and Randle to the bench. It's an 8-0 Auburn run over the last 2.5 minutes. Payne tried to hit a cutting Denson, but it goes out of bounds.
John Calipari wanting a lot more energy out of his team. Trying to fire him up over on the sideline.
I've seen that look before in my house. It's kind of like, don't pout.
Exactly.
That discussion.
You wouldn't do that, would you? Your children. Right. There we go.
On the shot clock. Here's Young. Cauley Stein sees a little seam. Oh! Get out of the way! Willie Cauley Stein.
Nice high percentage shot right there for the Kentucky offense. What a drive by the big fella. That was impressive.
That's a 7-footer. Denson back the other way.
I tell you what, Denson's amazing, Dave. You know what's coming. You know he's trying to get to that left hand, but he's so quick. He's so deceptive. You can't stop it. Even Kentucky, as good as they are, having a hard time corralling and containing Chris Denson.
Auburn's hit 5 of their last 6 from the field. Young. Poitras, little 2-man game. Now Young fires in and out. Boy, that was halfway down the cylinder. Hadaway. He's fouled by Poitras. That'll get us to a timeout. Willie Cauley Stein. Boy, he has had some moments this year. This one might be up there. Oh, that is just a devastating throwdown by a 7-footer. Wildcats by 2. Kentucky leads Auburn 20-18 here in the first half. A moment ago, we saw a little glimpse of Willie Cauley Stein as we go inside the play.
And Auburn switched from a zone to a man-to-man here. And Matthew Hadaway, the freshman, is not used to coming out on the floor and guarding a big man. He's going to get hung up on his own man, Chris Denson. And Willie Cauley Stein is going to recognize this play right here and take it all the way on the dribble into the lane for the dunk. Here he goes. Look out below. A little stufferino for the Big Blue. You see 41 getting hung up. Nice recognition by Willie Cauley-Stein to realize the change in the defense and the open avenue down the lane all the way to the rim.
Well, he is such a tremendous athlete. Off the side of the backboard for Dion Wade. Poitras off to Harrison. There, and fouled all the way up. A couple of free throws coming up for Kentucky, a team that leads the league in free throw attempts at over 700. Today's game is brought to you by Puerto Rico Tourism Company. Live your own star vacation story. Puerto Rico, the all-star island. Visit puertorico.com. Harrison at the free throw line, 79%. He's 10th in the conference. Wildcats, 702 attempts coming in. They've had 4. This will be number 5 tonight. That is 75 more than the second place team in the conference. Matter of fact, that gap has closed a little bit. They were well over 100 up until about 10 days ago.
Well, until the Mississippi State game on Saturday, Mississippi State did a great job of keeping Kentucky off the foul line and rebounding effectively against the Cats, and thus only got beat 10 points in a pretty hard-fought game in Starkville last Saturday.
KT Harrell trying to find it. Not on that shot. KT Harrell now 0 for 4 from the field. Harrison, floater. Couldn't tell if he tried to alley-oop or not, but it still works as Randall's there to pick up the garbage.
Kentucky's establishing their identity as being a powerful rebounding team with the big, strong frontline guys that we looked at earlier. Really pound both boards, the offensive and defensive boards, and they're getting to the foul line more than anybody in the league.
Attaway traveled with it. John Calipari says this club, he likes where they're going. They still got to remember they're playing for the team, not themselves. These young guys sometimes will fall back into that mode. Harrison, alley-oop, Cauley-Stein tried to go with the left hand, Poitras with the right. Fresh shot clock for Kentucky.
Auburn stays man-to-man here. Size advantage for Kentucky.
Harrison, that won't go. Harrell comes out of the pack with it. Harrell right down the lane, blocked by Poitras, but a foul in the process. Coach Cal, see the striped tie. That's his version of the referee jersey.
He made an interesting comment, I thought, today when we compared his team to the Florida team. His team starts 5 freshmen. Florida starts 4 seniors. And John Calipari's comment was, Florida's guys think defense first. That's their mindset. We're going to defend, and take what we can get on offense. He said, my guys are still young, and they still think their identity is tied to their offense. And once I get them to start thinking team and thinking defense first, the offense will come easily, and we'll be a better basketball team. I thought that was an interesting comparison this morning.
That's Harrell's first 2 points of the game.
Of course, what we're going to see Saturday night at Rupp Arena, Dave, is the top defensive team in the league in Florida against the top offensive team, at least in SEC games, in Kentucky. Ought to be a great one.
ESPN Game Day will be at Rupp Arena for that 9 o'clock Eastern start between the Cats and the Gators. Kentucky needs to survive this one first. You and I were talking before the game. Sometimes these young guys get all caught up in the next game as opposed to the one that they're about to play.
No question about it. You see the balance right here of the Kentucky freshman, Julius Randle. Julius Randle is 16 points overall, but in SEC games, he's only about 13 because the SEC teams have double-teamed him, triple-teamed him, and he's doing a much better job of learning how to pass the ball out of traps.
Harrison, Randle. Oh, and a trip on Harrison. Tony Green had his eyes peeled back on a little scrum. Harrison and Wade got tied up, and when Harrison tried to get up, Harrison almost, it appeared, maybe tried to trip him.
We didn't see it because the ball was on the other end, but John Calipari must have seen it because he didn't say anything to Tony Green, the official right there. He went straight to Andrew Harrison to talk to him about what happened on that play.
So Tony Green will take a look at the monitor across the way. Mark Whitehead off to his right. There's Jeffrey Clark in the foreground, our third official today. Coach Cal still talking to his club. You know, it's situations like this that kind of frustrate him. You see, quickly gets the board back out, but
Tony Green, I believe, Dave, am I right? He called a tripping foul on Andrew Harrison. Is that correct? We don't.
That is what I saw. That is what
we don't have that on camera. But Tony Green kept his eye on the players in the backcourt while the ball was going into the front court.
And he's talking. He went directly pointed out.
Yeah.
Andrew Harrison, he walked right in that huddle and said something to Andrew.
Yeah, he told him exactly what he called. And I think that when Chris Denson, or whoever the other player was, I tried to get up, that'd be number 11, Dion Wade. When Dion Wade tried to get up and run down the court, he apparently saw Andrew Harrison stick his leg out.
So basically what it boils down to, Mark Whitehead just came over and spoke to me and said that it basically comes down to just a foul, player control foul against 5 blue, and that would be Andrew Harrison. And it happened right behind there, and we just didn't get a glimpse of it.
Right.
But Tony Green was emphatic with his call. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt in his mind.
And John Calipari really didn't debate it. I think John Calipari saw the exact same thing because his reaction was he went right to Andrew Harrison and talked to him about what he did wrong on that play. All right, here we go. Let's play some basketball.
5 minutes to go, first half. 3-point game. Auburn's been down 10, but they keep hanging around. Here's Harrison. Randall tried to get him going a little bit. Too strong on the shot, took it right at Attaway. Shamsuddin back the other way in a hurry.
See Kentucky switching on the screens. There's a mismatch right there.
Shamsuddin, that one won't go. Thompson keeps it alive. Off the backboard, that won't go. The tap goes. Was that Wade or Attaway?
I think Wade got it. Number 11, Dion Wade, freshman from Belgium, with the tip in. That gets the crowd into this.
Johnson. There's Thompson again. And a loose ball foul against Kentucky. How about the young man who was a walk-on, who's been thrust into action in the last couple of weeks, making a factor against the Big Blue?
Well, he's been absolutely amazing. It just shows you what heart and hustle can do. And Alex Thompson, the freshman walk-on, showing it for Auburn here tonight.
Well, Chris Denson, KT Harrell, the big combo in the backcourt. Denson doing all he can so far.
Well, Chris Denson has got that left hand going, using the glass to get it in. He's real slippery in there with the left hand, and has been effective all year for Auburn, getting it over the bigger people when he gets in the lane. And you've got to get a lot of scoring from 2 guys. That's what Auburn's done all year. 5th best scoring tandem in the NCAA. Chris Denson And KT Harrell having great seasons.
KT Harrell struggling tonight, though. 0 for 4 from the field. Has a couple of free throws. Chris Denson 3 out of 8 from the field. And, you know, we've talked about it. When Auburn's good, those two guys have got to get their 20 points. But they need that third guy. They need somebody else. And whether it's Payne, Dixon, Tatum, Shamsuddin, who's been really good the last couple of weeks, they got to have a third scorer.
Well, Shamsuddin was that guy at LSU on Saturday. He was 16. This guy right here has the ability as well, although an air ball there.
Ollie Stein, left hand, won't go, and Harrison stepped on the baseline when he had his hand on the basketball. So here is Shamsuddin, a freshman point guard out of Decatur, Georgia. KT Harrell forced up an awkward three, barely touched the rim, and there's a bump on Denson. You know, I look at that foul right there. So little contact,
right?
But I think we all know that that's going to be called now. But I think about his drive. A couple minutes into the game, we took it right in the paint and got hammered. He and Cauley Stein had a major collision, knocked Cauley Stein down, and no whistle. How was that contact the one in the paint any different than the one out in the perimeter?
Well, I think that there's no question the officials call it a little tighter out on the floor where it's very obvious and everybody's looking than when it goes inside and there's more traffic and congestion. And I think that's one of the problems and the criticisms that the coaches have about this new rule. You'll call a touch foul out front, but you'll let them bump and knock around the basket.
So Harrison makes it a 3-point game. Under 3 to go, opening half. Kentucky has really had a hard time putting the ball in the basket. Just 2 of their last 13 from the field. Attaway. Blocked by Johnson. Johnson just rips it right out of his hands.
Auburn ran a beautiful set that time to Attaway to get him open down on the baseline, but he just couldn't get it up over Dakari Johnson, who made a nice defensive play for Kentucky.
Young. Poitras blocked by Attaway, but they're going to say a foul. Kentucky's 5 losses this year by a total of 21 points. They have certainly had their chances in every one of those games.
Well, obviously a young team. 5 freshmen start. 2 sophomores come off the bench. Jared Polson comes off the bench as well. He's a senior, gives him a little senior leadership. John Calipari talked with us today about the fact that this continue to improve, continue to work, to pull together on the defensive end and moving the basketball. We've seen them move the ball really well here tonight against the Auburn zone, although Auburn has been playing man-to-man the last 3 or 4 minutes. Now Kentucky will play the 2-3 zone.
Denson sits on that Auburn bench with 2 fouls. Under 2 minutes to go here. KT Harrell off to Wade. Back to KT. Shamsuddin. Pull-up jumper. That won't go, and rebound to Young. Kentucky up 2 in the rebound department. Poitras trying to go for a throwdown, but he is rejected. Foul in the process. Attaway thought he got all ball.
Let's watch the offensive set right here. Alex Thompson went out to cover the ball screen and hedge out there, and Alex Poitras slipped that screen down to the baseline and caught the basketball and attacked on the dribble using his size and strength against the freshman Matthew Attaway to get to the line.
Take a look at our Toyota SEC leaders for blocked shots. A couple of guys that are pretty good at it playing tonight. Willie Cauley-Stein averaging over 3 blocks per game. Hassan Dixon Tatum also on that list. He is 4th in the conference in blocks. Auburn with 4 rejections tonight. Wildcats with 2. Kentucky 4th in the country in block shots as a team. Almost a steal by Harrison. KT Harrell in the corner. KT never felt comfortable with the basketball. Poitras in the open floor, fouled, and will you count it? No shot. They'll say before the shot on the floor. Nonetheless, impressive for Poitras.
Well, great defensive possession by the Kentucky zone. Got the turnover. Right there's the foul before Poitras goes up and puts it on the glass to get it in. He'll go to the line. But he has 2 shots here.
10 team fouls against Auburn will send him to the line 4-2. Poitras at the free throw line, 64%. Well, coming up on our C Spire halftime report, we'll look at what to watch for in the SEC this Saturday and some critical games for some teams trying to stay in that NCAA tournament equation. We'll also spin around the league, get you caught up with the news and notes and first half stats and highlights as well.
Kentucky's going to get the ball back here before the end of the half. They're in the 2-3 zone. Trying to keep the drivers from driving the ball.
Harrell still can't get it going. KT hasn't hit a field goal tonight. Harrison, finger roll, left it short. There's about a half a second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And a timeout taken by Kentucky to set up one final shot. Kentucky's last field goal came at the 7:01 mark of the first half.
Now this is the use it or lose it timeout. John Calipari wanted to make sure, one, that his guys didn't shoot the ball too quick to give it back to Auburn for the last shot, because he wants to take the last shot of this half. As you mentioned, there's a 0.7 second differential here on the game clock and the shot clock. And Coach Cal is going to run his last second play here to get a shot right before the half.
Well, you mentioned a couple of lefties on display here tonight, and our Dean's List this evening takes a look at the top left-handers in the league.
Well, we've got a lot of left-handed players on the court tonight, and I thought it'd be fun just to look at who some of the top left-handers in the SEC are. We call them the Southpaws, obviously. 3 in the game tonight, obviously. Julius Randle, Chris Denson, James Young. Those guys are easy, but Jerron Mayman from Tennessee and Robbie Cooper from Alabama has been playing well of late. 22-point game against Arkansas recently.
Well, it hasn't been a great half for Kentucky offensively, but they'll go to the locker room with the lead regardless of what happens here in the last 15 seconds. And it's kind of been the MO for Kentucky. They've been a great first half team. They have been able to turn it up a notch in the second half this year, though. Young. No good. Tapped around. There's Randall. 2 seconds on the clock. John Sedin fires. That'll hit the backboard, and that'll do it for the first 20 minutes of basketball. Kentucky, 7:01 without a field goal. They did get to the free throw line, and they will go to the locker room up 6 at the break. A low-scoring affair. That is to Auburn's favor. Certainly 20 more minutes of hoops on the way. We'll come back with our C Spire halftime report. Stay with us. Back in a moment. This halftime report is brought to you by C Spire. You're not just a customer, you're our inspiration. C Spire, customer inspired. Well, Kentucky leads it 28-22. Maybe Auburn can get Bo Jackson out here, score a few buckets for him. That's his Heisman Trophy. Take a look at some scores from around the SEC last night. Of course, Florida and Tennessee in a good one the last couple of minutes. Florida just stretches it out, wins by 9. Tough loss for Ole Miss. Thought they had things going in the right direction. They lose by 3 to Alabama at the buzzer.
Yeah, and the most impressive thing is Florida holding Tennessee to 58 points on their court. Held them to 41 in Gainesville, 58 in Knoxville. That's a Tennessee team with big, strong guys inside. Jordan McRae on the perimeter is as good as anybody in the league.
Also, if you'll note there, Vandy, South Carolina postponed. They will play tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time, over in Columbia. And, of course, coming up a little bit later, LSU and Texas A&M. And tomorrow, you got Arkansas and Missouri in an important ball game. Take a look at our 14-team standings, and you'll see Florida right now. I don't know if anybody's going to catch them. I mean, Kentucky's got them at home on Saturday, but they are playing so well. They have been in some real fights, and they haven't played well, still find ways to win, and they do it with defense. And anytime you play defense at their level, you're going to have a chance each and every night. I think one of the other surprises I see as I look at those numbers, I mean, there's Georgia sitting at 6-4 right now in conference play.
Yeah, Georgia was picked 11th in the preseason poll in the SEC, sitting there right now. If they win tonight, they'd be tied for 3rd. So Mark Richt keeping his Georgia Bulldogs in the hunt.
All right, well, coming up on the C Spire halftime report, Joe and I will take a look at what to watch for in the SEC this Saturday. Some marquee showdowns. We'll talk about that and much more coming up on the other side. And welcome back to the C Spire halftime report. Dave Neal, along with Joe Dean Jr., back here at Auburn Arena, where the Tigers are hosting the Kentucky Wildcats. Time now for us to take a look at what to watch for in key SEC games this Saturday. We'll start with Missouri and Tennessee. This is a huge one, Joe, for both clubs.
Well, this could be a play-in game for the NCAA tournament. Both teams desperately need to continue to win. A road win in this basketball game by Tennessee would be huge, especially losing to Florida earlier in the week. Jabari Brown is playing tremendous for Missouri. He's the leading scorer in the league in SEC games, right at 22 points a game.
Well, another showdown that has implications in terms of postseason. LSU will travel to Arkansas. Tigers will try to get it back together.
One of the things the selection committee looks at are road games, and LSU needs to start winning some games on the road. They have a tremendous front line, can score inside. Andre Stringer's a three-point threat outside, but the Tigers need to show as they head to March that they can go on the road in Arkansas. Always a tough place to win.
All eyes in college basketball will be focused on Rupp Arena Saturday night. The showdown we've been talking about all week, Florida and Kentucky.
Well, you're talking about the top defensive team in the SEC in the Florida Gators against the number 1 offensive team in the Kentucky Wildcats. Billy Donovan, the 3rd winningest coach in SEC history, relies on 4 seniors, including that man Patrick Young. And Kentucky with the lefty, James Young, has a lot of weapons offensively.
16 straight victories for the Florida Gators. Well, here are some teams that, when you look at it, Joe, that they're right on the bubble. It's that time to start talking about the bubble, and here are some important games for these 4 clubs down the stretch.
All 4 of these teams pass the eye test. They look good, they're athletic, they're good enough to get there, but they've got to win and show the committee heading into March they can win on the road and win some significant games. You see the key opportunities for all 4 of these teams. Ole Miss has the best opportunity next week. They host both Kentucky and Florida.
Oh, big week for the Rebel Hoops fans in Oxford. Now, when we come back, we'll break down our first half here between the Cats and the Tigers and so much more. Stay with us. This halftime report is brought to you by C Spire. You're not just a customer, you're our inspiration. C Spire, customer inspired. Well, Kentucky leading Auburn 28-22 as Kentucky Wildcats back on the floor getting ready for second half basketball. Dave Neal alongside the coach, Joe Dean Jr. And when you think about the first half, what stands out to you? A couple of big items.
Well, you'd like to say the defenses are both very good because neither team shot the ball well at all.
That's a good way to spin that.
Yeah, Kentucky 9 of 30 and Auburn 8 of 26. Both teams played a lot of zone and changed back and forth, but both teams simply are not shooting the ball well when they have opportunities.
All right, well, there were some highlights in the first half, and for that, we'll take a look at our Shelter Insurance first half highlights.
Yeah, most of the highlights for Kentucky were inside with the big people. The lob against the zone to Poitras, Dakari Johnson inside, and there's Julius Randle with a nice putback. And then the great drive and dunk by Willie Cauley-Stein. Very impressive for a 7-footer to take it in from the perimeter. Chris Denson has always been the guy for the Auburn Tigers. He has 9 first-half points. Gets to that left hand. This is over 6'8" Poitras. Very slippery inside, the SEC's leading scorer.
But, Joe, here's the issue for Auburn right now. They're 2 leading scorers. These guys combined for about 40 points a night. And right now, it's all Chris Denson for the most part, as KT Harrell is yet to hit a field goal in this game, averaging just shy of 20.
Well, Auburn has no chance if KT Harrell does not step up and score some points. I mean, these 2 guys average almost 40 points a game for the Auburn Tigers, and Auburn just does not have enough offensive firepower besides those 2 to be able to upset a powerful team like Kentucky here tonight.
Good news for the Tigers, though. You're only down 6. It's a low-scoring affair. I guess in terms of all that, you still feel like you got a fighting chance. Well, welcome back to SEC TV basketball. It's Kentucky and Auburn from Auburn Arena, getting set for second half hoops. Dave Neal alongside Joe Dean Jr. as Kentucky leads it by 6. Second half hoops seconds away. And as we look at this Kentucky front court, we talked about some of the size that will pose a problem for Auburn. But when you take a look at the big picture, they haven't been as dominant as some might have expected.
Well, the front court for Kentucky is their strength. The 3 perimeter guys, James Young and the Harrison twins, are only 3 of 18 in the first half. So the Kentucky front court obviously has given them this lead, but they'd like to see their perimeter guys score a little bit better and make some open outside shots.
Just 28 points in the first half for Kentucky. The team averaging almost 80 a game. Randall spins left half. Left hand blocked by Dixon Tatum, and here comes Denson out of the pack. Denson sat the last few minutes of that first half when he picked up his second foul. Here's Thompson, who gets the start in the second half after a very energetic first half.
Kentucky starts man-to-man. Both teams have switched defenses throughout the game, playing some 2-3 zone, trying to stop drives. Both these teams like to drive the basketball and try to get to the free throw line. Kentucky's the best at that in the SEC.
Here's Randall. Harrison. Second chance opportunity for Kentucky. Harrison. Perfect.
Big shot right there. Just when the big blue was going cold a little bit from the outside, Andrew Harrison, the point guard, steps up and knocks down a big 3 and quiets this Auburn Arena crowd.
That was their first field goal in almost 9 minutes. Shamsuddin with a stutter step. Hits the jump shot.
Little guy from Decatur, Georgia, Columbia High School, getting better and better. Not big, only about 5'9". But a young man who has a good assist-to-turnover ratio and starting to become a better offensive threat from the outside.
7-point lead for Kentucky. And a foul on Dixon Tatum, holding the big fella Dakari Johnson. That'll be the third on Dixon Tatum. He only played 6 minutes in the first half. Did the starting center for the Auburn Tigers. He has fouled out 4 times this year. Fouled out in their last game against LSU. Harrison. That won't go. Crowd running over the back. Foul on Young. No whistle. And Andrew Harrison will set it up. Shamsuddin. Young gets it inside to Johnson, spins. What should have been goaltending. Kentucky with another chance. Randall, foul. Who gets that one? I think that'll go against KT Harrell, but it looked like there might have been a goaltending a minute ago.
I thought the ball hit the backboard. Let's wait and see. Nice ball movement to get this shot right here. And yeah, the ball hit the glass first, and then Attaway touched it. That should have been a goaltend. John Calipari had a good argument.
Now Denson will throw one down on the other end. A 4-point swing there. Alley-oop, rejected by Attaway. Denson, fouled by Harrison. Man, does he get down the floor in a hurry.
All right, let's take a look right here. There is Denson, the senior, and look at what he's looking at. He's looking at Andrew Harrison, and as this ball goes here, he's going to shoot this gap, get the steal, and lay it in. Beautiful job defensively of anticipation and the finish.
Second foul on Aaron Harrison, by the way, as Denson connects at the free throw line.
Talked about Denson's improvement over his 4 years. Numbers have gone up. Senior out of Columbus, Georgia, just down the road from here. Shaw High School. This will put him over 200 free throw attempts on the season. Isn't that amazing? Over 200. Shows you how elusive he is, how slippery he is when he gets inside with that left hand.
Young. Boy, he got caught up in the air, decided just to throw it up on the rim. Not a bad idea. Kentucky will get another second chance opportunity.
Great job of getting to the offensive boards with their size. Kentucky very strong on the offensive glass.
Willie Cauley-Stein trying to post up on Attaway. Harrison into traffic, threw it over the top of the backboard. Boy, Kentucky starting to rack up those offensive rebounds. They lead Auburn 15-6 in that department. As a matter of fact, this is a staggering number. Kentucky's the best in the league at this. 42% of their rebounds are on the offensive end.
Yeah, that tells the whole story. And again, it's the size, it's the athleticism for Kentucky. Long arms, very aggressive.
Kentucky now 8 out of 15 at the line. The lead is 4. Wildcats have led by as many as 10, but that was back with about 12 minutes to go in the opening half. Denson, that won't go. Randall the rebound. Taken away by Denson. To the rim. Blocked by Attaway. Boy, Canada might have been hit by an elbow. And then a traveling violation will give it back. That'll get us to a timeout. The Auburn faithful making some noise.
Chris Denson twice in this half has picked off the Big Blue and finished at the other end for the Tigers.
Chris Denson has made a difference all year, and he's making a difference tonight.
Yeah, on the defensive end, anticipating Some lazy passes by Kentucky. Randall right there, took it right at Randall. Used the body, the jumping ability to get it off the banking board and into the basket for the Auburn Tigers.
Denson, 15 points. His partner in crime on the perimeter, KT Harrell, has yet to make a field goal. Matter of fact, Denson, 5 of 11 from the field. The rest of the Tigers are 6 out of 20.
Yeah, they need more scoring, and that's been the problem for Auburn all year.
Wade just had it taken right out of his hands by Harrison, and then commits a foul on the other end.
Good defense by Kentucky right there. Swarming the white shirts, swarming the basketball. The takeaway and going to the other end. You see the numbers right here for the Wildcats. 3 of their last 24.
Denson again flying down the floor. Poitras with a rejection, and they tumble through the front row of photographers. Let's hope everybody's all right.
Great hustle both ways. Denson has got great speed. Poitras came right at him with excellent hustle to try to get the rejection. I think he got the basketball but fouled with his body.
Justin
Denson
Foster
will go to the line. Excuse
me. Our camera guy, Justin Foster, taking one for the team.
Yeah, it was definitely a block, though, I thought, by our camera guy.
He was moving.
Sorry.
He was moving.
He was in the restricted area.
So Denson knocks down the free throw. Chance to tie it up right here. Auburn has never led in this game. Can't get it to go. Loose ball. Here's Harrell. Harrell trying to get his hands on that basketball, make something happen. Is this it? No, way off the mark.
Kentucky's really defended him well tonight. Harrison has had him. Aaron Harrison, I should say. Andrew's done a nice job.
Jared Polson knocks down the 3.
Yeah, big shot by Polson. The senior played 30 minutes Saturday at Mississippi State. Heady player out of Nicholasville.
Denson. Fouled as a hold. Will be called against Aaron Harrison. Harrison now with 3 fouls will head to the bench. KT Harrell guarded by Young. Goes to the left hand. Finally gets a field goal. KT now 1 out of 8 from the field.
Went right around the 7-footer, Willie Cauley-Stein, to get to the backboard.
Tried to alley-oop it to Willie Cauley-Stein, but a nice play by Shams Shadeen at 5'10" to kind of block out Cauley-Stein.
Nice crossover right here, and the spin went right around Cauley-Stein all the way to the glass. KT Harrell, 4th leading scorer in the SEC for the Auburn Tigers. Kentucky now back in the 2-3 zone. They're having a hard time guarding out on the perimeter, stopping drives.
KT hit on the way up. Free throws coming up for KT Harrell. That'll be the 15th foul against Kentucky.
Kentucky goes to the zone for the sole purpose of trying to stop this right here. Nice job of splitting the defenders by KT Harrell and getting to the basket to draw the foul. That shouldn't happen against the zone.
keeps it alive. Kentucky getting a little taste of their own medicine. Arrow for three. Won't go. Attaway tried to keep it alive. A mad scramble. It'll say tie up. Arrow favors Auburn.
Number 41 right there is a freshman from Canada, Matthew Attaway. He's only been playing basketball about 3 years. And that time, a great job of showing his size and strength on the offensive board against the Big Blue.
Alan Payne triggers it into Thompson. 12:43 to play in the game. Kentucky by 1. Neither team shooting it well. Kentucky sitting on 27%. They're 2 of 10 this half. Auburn at 35%, but the good news is they're 4 out of 8 from the field this half. Make it 5 out of 9. Denson with a floater. The first lead of the night for the Auburn Tigers. Cauley-Stein won't go. Shamsuddin, long three. That wasn't good from the moment it left his hand. Followed by Payne, though. Wow. Where did he come from? Blocking foul on the floor against Payne on the other end. But Alan Payne has been quiet all night. We haven't called his name much at all.
Against the Kentucky zone, there's not the block out. And Alan Payne, the senior, comes from the weak side. He finds the opening on the miss and puts it back in for the Tigers.
Kentucky led by 6 at the break, 28-22, but with 11:25 to go, Auburn now leads it by 3 over the Kentucky Wildcats. You see these close losses for this young team. Started early in the year when they lose by 4 to Michigan State. That's been the theme. Just 21 total points stand between this Kentucky team and an undefeated season to this point. Auburn, which has struggled, they started the year 0-6 in conference play, then won 3 straight before losing their last game, giving the Wildcats all they want. Randall tied up in the paint. Got it to go down. Boy, there was no doubt that Randall was going to get that shot off. John Calipari says he was hacked, not once, twice, but 3 times.
He was not going to be denied on that play. 3 white shirts around him, and he just used his tremendous strength to muscle it up and in for the Big Blue.
Payne off to Denson in the lane. Randall the rebound. Young, scoop won't go. Boy, how about that tip from Johnson?
And this is what Kentucky's not been able to do much tonight. Get out in transition and push the ball down the floor and get it up on the glass where they can pound the offensive board. Dakari Johnson with a nice putback.
Well, this Kentucky team trying to get back in this one as they go to the big man in the middle, Julius Randle, who is, as you said, not going to be denied.
Yeah, to me, this is a leadership play by a freshman. He's showing tremendous leadership on the court. When Kentucky was struggling, Auburn takes the lead out of the timeout. He is not going to be denied. He's going to show the effort and the energy that he wants his entire team to play with if they're going to come on the road and beat a scrappy Auburn basketball team here tonight. Kentucky out of the zone now, back man-to-man. Polson has the freshman, Shamsuddin. Very quick out front.
Now keep this in mind. Auburn has lost 29 of the last 30 against Kentucky. Their only win was back in 2000.
as you mentioned in the open, 13 years ago. Last time Auburn has beaten a Kentucky team, that was under Cliff Ellis. Auburn also is man-to-man. Both teams out of the zone, locking up defensively.
Dakari Johnson, a little bit shy. Dixon Tatum with a rebound and hands it off to Denson. Harrell to the basket. Boy, Johnson's just a physical presence in there. Hard to rip it out of his claws. Randall floats. And a foul on Randall.
Auburn really working hard on the backboards. On the other end, Dakari Johnson with a nice block. And Randall's really being aggressive, trying to get to the offensive board, but Alan Payne did an excellent job right there, blocking out, keeping the bigger Julius Randall on his back to draw that foul and give Auburn possession.
Randall 3 out of 7 from the field. He has yet to attempt a free throw tonight. A guy that has lived at the line this year.
And that's a big stat if you're Auburn.
JT Harrell won't go. It'll belong to Kentucky. JT Harrell still can't find the ring. He's now 2 out of 11 from the field. He has missed all 5 of his three-point shots.
It's amazing, and Auburn's still leading with Harrell playing this way.
It's the slimmest of leads at 40-39.
Mainly because Kentucky's not shooting the ball well either.
They're shooting 28% for the evening. Randall. Boy, Payne will not let him go to his left. Harrison, contact in the paint. Will that go against Dixon Tatum? And it will. And that'll be number 4 on Hassan Dixon Tatum.
So much attention in the low post to Julius Randall opens up driving avenues to the lane. And that time Aaron Harrison recognized that opportunity. He's 6'6", can get all the way in there and rise up and draw fouls and even score at times.
So the 4th on Dixon Tatum will get him back to the bench. Matthew Attaway back on the floor. Harrison looking for point number 6 and will have it. He's struggled mightily. Matter of fact, the Harrison twins are 3 out of 14 from the field. They have combined for 14 points.
James Young hasn't shot it well either. The 3 perimeter players for Kentucky.
Yeah, he's 1 out of 10. Payne, nice move, but nothing to show for it. Attaway, good effort. He's got 2 points. Dakari Johnson, too strong. Boy, he got hit a couple of times, still got it to go in.
I really like Dakari Johnson. He is a strong, physical guy who plays hard, stays after it. He's got a lot of upside for this Kentucky team.
Denson, pull up, won't go. Payne, threw it right to Poitras. Harrison. Boy, it looks like Payne is in some pain. That foul will go on Shamshed Dean with a push-off that forced Harrison into Payne. That'll get us to a timeout. Kentucky up by 1. Two on the end of that Auburn bench as he just took a shot to the right eyebrow area. And this is what happened. The foul's on 13 White, Shamsuddin on a push, and Payne just happened to be standing in the wrong place.
Yeah, he was trying to step in and draw the charge. The call was against Shamsuddin for pushing Harrison into Payne, and Alan Payne got the worst of that play.
So that'll send Aaron Harrison to the free throw line for a 1-on-1 situation. There are 8 team fouls against Auburn, 5 against Kentucky. And Harrison, a 79% foul shooter on the year, gets the front end to drop. So Kentucky's up by 3. Shamsuddin flying to the rim. Couldn't tell if Randall blocked that or not. Regardless, Kentucky going back the other way in a hurry. Oh, count it. Harrison with a tough shot. Got the contact from Attaway. Able to convert, and he'll step to the line.
The last several possessions, Kentucky has been able to get it off the board and get into transition. That is their game, and Andrew Harrison right there with a nice drive. The floating runner off the glass for 2 and the opportunity for the three-point play.
So Andrews, a 74% foul shooter, has a three-point play. It's a 9-2 Kentucky run after they trailed by 3 just a moment ago. KT Harrell coming off the screen, taking it inside. Shamsuddin. No. Dixon Tatum tried to keep it alive. Randall ripped it away from Thompson.
Kentucky's turned their defense up the last several minutes. Coming out of that zone, back to the man. John Calipari's challenged his guys, and they're responding here.
Auburn's hit just 1 3 tonight. They're 1 of 13. Last year when these two clubs met, Auburn never hit a 3. Harrison turned it over. Don't forget, the most storied conference in college athletics will live on a new network as tradition has found a new home. It's the SEC Network, launching this August. For more information, be sure to go to getsecnetwork.com. So Chris Denson, the only player for Auburn in double figures by a large margin. He has 18. Next closest guy has 7. That's KT Harrell and Shamsuddin. Both have 7. Here is Denson. Boy, just ripped right out of his hands by Aaron Harrison.
Great defensive play right there. Moved his feet nicely, Aaron Harrison, and just picked the pocket of Chris Denson. Just an excellent individual defensive play.
Under 5 to go, Auburn Arena. Dave Neal and Joe Dean. Poitras, left hand, followed by Johnson. Can he do it again? Down on the deck, there's the scrum. Arrow favors Kentucky.
Dakari Johnson, the freshman, staying with it. Has had a big night inside for Kentucky. Just rebounding, using his size, using his strength. The tip in on the fast break. And right there in traffic, gets it off the glass and in. Good numbers tonight for Dakari Johnson, who has started the last 3 basketball games for Kentucky in place of Willie Cauley-Stein.
Here's Young. Harrison. Nice touch. The Harrison boys starting to get it going now.
They're starting to get it going, and what they do so well, Dave, is they use their size. Their 6'5", 6'6" range. They can dribble it into the lane area with good ball handling skills, and because they have that size, they can get it up over big people.
Randall thought he had a block. Attaway will step to the free throw line. Attaway has been active on the offensive boards. Ian Young still chatting a little bit on the way to the benches. We have a timeout on the floor. Is brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. And by the all-new 2014 GMC Sierra. Incredible thinking in the form of a truck. Kentucky up 8 on Auburn. It was just a moment ago that Nick Marshall, the quarterback for the Auburn Tigers, who almost led them to the promised land, just a few seconds away from a national championship, getting a nice round of applause, getting the Auburn faithful fired up here inside Auburn Arena. One of the reasons he's trying to get them fired up is because the Harrison boys have kind of sucked the life out of the fans the last couple of minutes.
Well, it's amazing, and that's a sign of good teams, as you see. Gus Malzahn, I had a chance to meet him today for the first time, and the head football coach here at Auburn University. Played, of course, in the national championship game, losing to Florida State, but did win the SEC championship.
Attaway at the free throw line. This time of the game, you got to make him.
Kentucky, as I was going to say, a sign of a good team. At a timeout, they're down to Auburn, came out, turned up their defense. The Harrison twins stepped up their offense and their penetration. And Kentucky's in position right now, if they can take care of the ball and make foul shots, to get a hard-earned win on the road with the Florida Gators coming to town on Saturday, Dave Neal.
3:52 to go in this one, 7-point game. Auburn doesn't want to fall too far behind, but their three-point shot hadn't been working tonight. They're 1 out of 13 from behind the arc. Kentucky 5 out of 12. And a foul on Randall, and this will send him to the free throw line. This will be the first free throws of the game for Julius Randall, who has been there 173 times on the year. You know, I was talking to Coach Cal. We were this morning at shoot-around out talking about free throws. Only one time in the last 6 games has he been to the line more than 6 times. You go back to their first 13 games of the year, he was in double-figure free throws in 10 of those 13 games to start the season.
Yeah, early on, I don't think the opposing teams outside of the conference really knew how to defend him. And he scored a lot, averaged about 18 points a game in non-conference games, got to the line a ton. But once he got into the conference, these coaches in this league, they figure you out pretty quick.
How does Denson do it? I mean, there's no way that should go in. His ability to hang in the air is incredible.
Yeah, he's gotten so good as a senior of driving past people and finding ways in the air to get the ball into the basket. Just draws the contact, stays with it, doesn't give up on it, and has good touch with that left hand. That's a tremendous play. Over one of the best shot blockers in the country.
Converts the three-point play. Denson up around his average. Now has 21 in the game. He's averaging 20.2, leading the conference. He's done his part. He just needs help. The Harrison boys, the only guys in double figures for Kentucky. Aaron has 10, Andrew with a dozen. The tap by Randall is good.
How'd you like to have the assignment of blocking him out?
I would answer that quickly.
That's a handful.
We wouldn't allow a guy like him in our church league, by the way. Wouldn't be an issue.
Look at him get on the floor. Julius Randle, for a guy his size, John Calipari says his motor runs at a high level. He just plays so hard all the time. It's unbelievable. Here he is right here. Getting to the offensive board from the top. Tips it in. And then at the other end, he dives on the floor for a loose ball. As a freshman, you know, they start 5 freshmen. I think he's the leader of that group. There's no doubt. A lot of maturity in Julius Randle.
JT Harrell. Ball away, in and out. And a whistle underneath and a foul against Kentucky. That'll go against, is that Aaron Harrison? I believe that will be Aaron Harrison. And for Aaron, that'll be his 3rd or 4th. Trying to get an update on that. I think that's his 3rd foul. Nope, that'll go as 4. Harrison. Johnson Dean. Denson. Paulie Stein keeps it alive. 2 minutes to play, and it's a 7-point game.
Great rebound by Willie Cauley-Stein, getting to the weak side of the board where most shots come off. Right side shot comes off the left, and Willie Cauley-Stein smart getting over there to get the rebound.
Tony Barbie going to make this a free throw shooting contest down the stretch with 1:49 to go. And Willie Cauley-Stein, not a bad guy to send up there at 47% on the year. And today he is 1 out of 2 at the line.
Nice. You know, you look at his technique. He's got, you know, great rotation on his ball, good arm extension, follow through. No reason he shouldn't be a better foul shooter.
You know, and we've been in practices in Lexington, and we've watched how Coach Cal handles the free throws, and he makes them in practice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a confidence thing.
Confidence in middle thing in the basketball game. Good looking stroke that time for those 2 foul shots.
Well, that'll frustrate Coach Calipari as Tony Barbie's watching this one slip away a little bit. Andrew Harrison picks up that foul. Boy, this has been the MO for Kentucky lately.
Yep.
They haven't played great, but they end up stretching it out to double figures.
Find ways to win. That's right. That's what good teams do. They find ways to win. And again, you can't overemphasize enough how young Kentucky is. You know, a lot of folks don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. He's trying to mold a group of 5 freshmen who start. Willie Cauley-Stein and Alex Poythress, sophomores, come off the bench. And John Calipari, every time we talk to him, he talks about their improvement, getting better on defense, moving the ball better as a team, thinking more about the team than what they're doing individually on the offensive end.
Harrison's will work the backcourt. They'll get it up to Randall. Julius to the basket. They'll say foul on the floor, but still 2 free throws coming up as the Wildcats are in the double bonus. And you look at Kentucky, their strength of schedule, 6th best, 6th toughest in the country. Their RPI at 10, but the BPI, which factors in a lot of different things other than the RPI, including players who are injured, haven't been playing much. They're ranked 5th.
No doubt. Of course, the strength of schedule, Kentucky traditionally has always played good opponents. Of course, Michigan State on a neutral court, Baylor on a neutral court. They played at North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And we know what's coming Saturday. There you go. The big one, the one everybody's been waiting on. The #1 Florida Gators, first in the SEC right now.
But Joe, I mean, the next 3, and even Arkansas, factor that in if they get it going. But I mean, at Ole Miss after Florida, on a Tuesday night, it's a quick turnaround.
Quick turnaround, tough game. LSU comes to Rupp Arena the following Saturday. Of course, they beat Kentucky down in Baton Rouge.
Arkansas got a big win in Fayetteville. on a follow slam.
Called a foul on James Young right there on the rebound, a push. And John Calipari just absolutely does not like that.
It has not been James Young's night.
He has struggled tonight.
1 of 10 from the field. 3 points for a young man that's 13th in the conference in scoring at 14.5 a game. Just didn't have it going. You know, I'm impressed. You know, we've seen Andrew and Aaron Harrison play quite a bit this year. This Kentucky team was down 3. And those two guys are the ones that got the lead back. They made some big plays. Jump shots, driving to the basket, made their free throws.
Well, they've definitely been a big key here in the second half. The Harrison twins.
They'll take a timeout. 56-50, Kentucky up 6, plenty of time, 1:39 to play in this one. But Andrew Harrison.
Yeah, Andrew's the point guard. He actually has a better three-point percentage than his brother, 38%. Aaron Harrison was the #1 2 guard in the nation last year out of high school. And you see him take the ball on the dribble. Both of these guys know how to take it on the dribble. They're smart getting into the lane. And then again, at 6'6", they use their size to get it up over big people and into the basket, and they get to the foul line.
There are hardy stars of the game, are the Harrison brothers.
Neither team has shot the ball well tonight from the perimeter. And you can credit the defense. I think both defenses have been very aggressive. They've mixed man to zone, changed at timeouts. This is what happens to every Kentucky team. When they go on the road, they're going to get the other team's best shot. And Auburn tonight, with an enthusiastic crowd, came ready to play.
Tony Barbie wants a foul, finally gets it from Shamsuddin, who hits Randall. Randall, 72% at the line. He's 2 out of 4 tonight. Kentucky, 65% at the line as a team tonight.
That's the one area of Julius Randle's game that he'll have to improve before he goes to that next level, is outside shooting, perimeter shooting. He's going to be able to play a small forward in the pros because he handles it so well, and he's so good in transition, and he can rebound and do some things defensively from that spot. But NBA is about shooting, facing jump shots.
Yeah, the 20-footer is just a normal shot in the NBA. It's three-pointer here, but he's 2 of 11 behind the arc this year is Randall. Is Attaway, who has got some impressive minutes for the Auburn Tigers, who step to the free throw line, and another foul against Kentucky, and that will go against Aaron Harrison, and that will be number 5. Cal can't be happy with all the fouls his team has had here in the last 20 seconds or so. Remember, it was 1:39 on the clock when Tony Barbie started telling his team to start fouling. We've lost 21 seconds off the clock since then.
And Kentucky's fouled also, which certainly is not the smart thing to do when you're ahead. Allow your opponent to go to the line and score with the clock stopped. I'm sure that's one of the messages that Coach Cal gave to his team. Right there, guys, let's play defense and quit fouling. Make them shoot over the top.
2 shots for Attaway. Got the first one to drop. Attaway been scoreless the last 3 games. But tonight has 6 points and 13 rebounds.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job tonight, the freshman Matthew Attaway, of battling inside against the big Kentucky team and helping Auburn on the backboards.
Boy, almost a steal. Foul on Payne will send Young to the free throw line. 1:02 to play. Gives us a chance to look at some news and notes from around the conference. Of course, we talked about it Saturday at Rupp Arena. 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, Florida and Kentucky. But how about Bobby Portis last week? I happened to be in that game. You want to talk about a guy dominating? My goodness, did he put on a show. Set a career freshman scoring record for Arkansas with 35 points against Alabama. And then speaking of Alabama, they come back and really put a little dagger in Ole Miss.
They really did. It was a game Ole Miss really needed to win on the road and had Alabama on the ropes. But Anthony Grant's team fought back, and Trevor Relaford, who's trying to make a statement for SEC Player of the Year, with the three-pointer at the buzzer to win for the Crimson Tide.
Another offensive rebound for Kentucky will send them to the free throw line. For Kentucky now, 22 offensive rebounds out of their 46 total in this game. They're plus 11 in the rebound margin. So Andrew Harrison at the free throw line. Gets that one to go down. He now has 13 points to lead Kentucky. Coach Cal tells everybody, get out of the lane. Just get away. No fouls. Here's Harrell. KT's had a tough night, 2 of 14, make it 2 of 15. Boy, the Tigers are 1 out of 15 behind the arc.
Yeah, to beat a team like Kentucky, or Florida for that matter, you got to make a lot of outside shots. You got to be hot. Auburn was not able to do it tonight. KT Harrell was well defended tonight by Alex Poitras. James Young had him some. They did it by committee. And I thought the defense tonight by the Harrison twins, Andrew and Aaron, was excellent, especially here in the second half when Auburn took that lead midway through the second half. Those two guys really stepped it up defensively, shut down Chris Denson from then on, and was able to pull away here.
So Kentucky's lead is 9 with 36 seconds to go. Jumps it Dean. Cauley Stein to Poitras. Randall off to Harrison. And he's fouled on the way to the basket. Now Attaway and Randall exchanging some words late in this game.
Attaway's a big young man, but I don't think he wants any part of Julius Randall. Here comes the foul. Andrew Harrison, yeah, easy foul. And a little bit over-exuberant
I can
right
see
there.
Why Randall might be a little perturbed.
You know, I think Julius Randall just kind of stepping in, showing some leadership here. He's not going to get into an altercation at this stage of the game with an opponent. He's just trying to support his teammate. I've got your back. Trying to pull that team together, and there's a technical foul right there on Matthew Attaway on that foul.
We talked about it tonight. KT, Harrell, and Denson, 5th best scoring combination in the country. And when these two are going, Auburn's pretty good.
Yeah.
But if one of them's not, things are hard to it's hard to overcome. So after the technical, here's Harrison at the free throw line. He's missed a couple now, and you can see he just went, oh my gosh. He doesn't miss many free throws.
No, he doesn't. And after the first miss, John Calipari kind of yelled at him and said, come on, Andrew, make your free throws. Coach Cal very animated on the sideline, trying to push this team to greatness. And they've got the opportunity and the ability.
Here are the free throws for the foul. And Harrison knocks them both through. Largest lead of the game coming right now at 12. Well, there's the second three, but a little bit late with 17.9 seconds. Randall is fouled, so more free throws. Randall now with a double-double, by the way. 11 points, 11 rebounds. It's 12th double-double of the year. But his last one was 6 games ago. That came against Texas A&M when he had 13 and 11. So Coach Cal, Tony Barbie, two guys that go way back. Tony Barbie played for Coach Cal at UMass back in the early 90s. Left as the school's 3rd all-time leading scorer. Coached with Coach Calipari at UMass as a grad assistant, then followed him, went to Memphis as an assistant before going to UTEP.
You know, it's interesting, as an outstanding high school senior in Indianapolis, Tony Barbie never visited the UMass campus. He was sold on John Calipari and his recruiting efforts and signed with UMass before ever going up there to visit. Now that's persuasion.
Yes. The power of persuasion. Pretty easy to tell which coach is going home with the win after that shot.
Tony Barbie's got to be proud of his guys, though. They really played hard here tonight. Just don't have enough guys to battle against a team as talented as Kentucky.
Well, for the Wildcats, they will go to 19-5, 9-2 in league play. They now have won 4 in a row, heading to the showdown at Rupp Arena with the Florida Gators. Auburn will fall to 11-11, 3-8 in league play. Once again, our final score: Kentucky wins at 64-56. For my partner, Joe Dean Jr. and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long from Auburn. This has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN Regional Television, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports.